The final release of Israeli captives for Palestinian prisoners under Phase 1 of the Gaza ceasefire deal is underway. Late on Wednesday, Hamas handed over 4 bodies to the Red Cross. Shortly after, Israel returned hundreds of Palestinian prisoners to Gaza and the occupied West Bank. Among them were the detainees Israel refused to release last week. But Israel is delaying the release of 24 Palestinian children until the identities of the 4 Israeli captives are confirmed. Let's get more details now. Hani Mahmoud is live for us in Gaza City. Hani, hundreds of prisoners released today. What kind of health and condition are those people in?
Well, Louise, Palestinians released from Israeli jails are walking out with the broken bones, the broken ribs, and difficult health conditions. Many of them went through much of the physical torture, the dehumanization, the sleep deprivation, and the fact that Israeli military just put them through very difficult, unlivable conditions in the past months. 10 of the 620 released as early as 4 a.m. in the morning were on ambulance vehicles and were taken to the emergency department in the ICU because of the difficulties of their health conditions, as they were asked to exit the buses that were carrying them from Karm Abu Salem into the Gaza European Hospital. Palestinians detained from the Gaza Strip, including those who were sentenced to life or served long terms, went through much of the torture, much of the dehumanization in the past months or the past years. For them, this moment is more of a resurrection, a rebirth, and for their families, it's more of like they're seeing them one more time after losing hope for the past months and the past years, because Israeli jails are equivalent to more of a graveyard. For a lot of them, they've been resurrected, they've been rebirthed out of the darkness into life. Seeing them at the Gaza European Hospital, and as soon as they went through the medical examination, they were dispatched to their families. A lot of family members were present at the Gaza European Hospital. Right after a whole week of impasse and waiting and tears, they're finally released. They were taken to their homes with their family members and loved ones, and those who survived the past months of devastation. We happen to be in a house right now where a Palestinian released from Israeli jail. A year ago, he was detained from al-Yarmouk football stadium in Gaza City, and he was detained a year ago from that location. Alaa al-Bayari, who was just released and reunited with his family, his mom, his mother, his wife, and his family, and his daughter, who is a year old now. When he was detained, she was only a few days old when he was released. As soon as he walked in, she could not recognize him, given the period of time that he spent in the detention. This is Alaa.
Hello, Alaa, and welcome back. Tell us, how do you feel right now? You are with your family. I'm very glad. I'm very happy. But on the other hand, I'm not happy. I have seen my daughters. I didn't recognize her. They don't recognize me. They don't know me. I was in the prison. What about the detention circumstances? You've spent 1 year over there. It's torture and beating and humiliation. Everything you can imagine. Give us some examples. Have you been tortured personally? Of course, yes. Of course, I've been beaten. They left us under the rain. They kept us naked. They threw us in the water. Electricity used against us. What can I say? I don't know what to say. What can I say? We got diseases, several diseases, and you've been here sitting with someone, and then you can find wounds coming out of his body in the Negev prison. I have seen one of the prisoners who lost 80 kilograms during 1 year, 80 kilograms. No food. Do you have certain routine of torture during the day in the prison? Can you give us an example? You got up in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, and they call your name, Alaa al-Bayari. So they took me to the intelligence where I can stay 3 days. 3 days no sun, 3 days in the darkness, 3 days of beating, handcuffed, and no food. They don't give you food. They kept you 3 days for half loaf of bread, half glass of water, and half cucumber in the intelligence. Yeah, and every day they beat us. Have you expected to be released? No, I haven't. All of a sudden they called my name. They called my name, and I stayed like a month before being released. A month moving from one prison to another prison, from a cell to another cell, but they haven't given me an impression that I will be released. They also put you under depression. Tell us about your health, psychologically and physically. What do you feel? When I left the prison, I'm very grateful to Allah Almighty, but deeply I'm sad. I'm sad because I left so many prisons inside the Israeli prisons. They are suffering. Hopefully they will be all released. I hope so. I hope so by the end of Ramadan, everyone will be released. Hopefully. Happy being with your family, of course. This is my wife. This is my auntie who's like a mother. She is my mother. I have relatives. I have my in-laws. May Allah bless them all. I have my siblings. Thank God for everything. Thank Allah for everything. Welcome back, Alaa. Thank you.
So as we heard from Alaa al-Bayari, who was just reunited with his family, his daughter, 1-year-old daughter, when he was detained, she was still a few days. And as we've seen it here, she could not recognize him and kept crying because she did not know Alaa was her father. His family is still here. They're still in shock. They could not believe that he was released. They waited last week, and they thought with the suspension of the Prime Minister, the Israeli Prime Minister, of the release of Palestinian, that they were not going to see him again for the rest of their life. But it happened today. They are so very emotional to see this is happening. This is what Palestinians across the Gaza Strip are feeling right now, particularly those who were released after months of torture, of abuse, of dehumanization, of sleep deprivation, and everything that went through. For them, this is the moment that they are resurrected, rebirthed from Israeli jails.
Our correspondent, Hani Mahmoud in Gaza City, speaking to a released Palestinian prisoner there. Thank you very much indeed.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.